Gentlemen, welcome to episode 54 of Speak on It. We took a week off. We're back. We have a lot to talk about.
We got so
I'm re-
much to talk about.
we have so much to talk about tonight, D. This show might be 3 hours for
It
all I
might be
know.
3 hours. People, I want y'all to pay attention to the name of this here podcast. Yes, it is Speak on episode 54, but today we have specifically named this episode Rocking the Family Will. Let me say that one more time. Rocking the Family Will.
What is that in reference to, D?
Well, I think there have been many moments in American pop culture history that have been what some may deem bigger than life moments. Moments that you just had to have been there to understand the gravity in which that instance happened. Let me run through a few. Janet Jackson and the titty pop out.
Yo, before we even, let me tell you something. When when her nipple slipped, I was in the room with all my uncles, and I was like, "Yo, I think her nipple just popped out of her shirt." And they were like, "Boy, you don't know about no." I was like, "Boy, that wasn't no nipple." And I was like, "Fam, that was a nipple." And they
Oh
spent the
my
rest of the
goodness.
halftime. That wasn't no nipple. Boy, you don't know what you're talking about. That wasn't no nipple. I was like, all right, man.
Yo, they was trying they was trying to deny your nipple seeing.
Dog, I was like, I know what I saw. I know what them things look like. I know what it was. Oh, boy, you don't know what you're talking about. All right, man. All right. Keep going. My bad.
Yo, tell us who the show is sponsored by, man. Then
Yeah,
we can get
let's
back
get
into the slap heard around the world.
yeah. Let's get this. So the show is brought to you by goingfor.com. As always, go over to goingfor2.com for all your fantasy needs. Baseball is getting started back up. The draft is coming up. We're getting into the NBA playoffs. So anything you need for any sports you need, I don't think there's a WrestleMania writer on staff, but if there is, we will promote their stuff. Um, yeah, just we have a lot to talk about tonight, right? And this is the Brian Urlacher episode. I know I forgot something. Episode 54, the
Mm,
Brian Urlacher episode. Even
shout
though
out
Brian
Brian Urlacher.
Urlacher, no. We not shouting him out. Brian Urlacher was a part. Well, he's not black, but I was gonna say the Ball Black Man Association. Brian had accepted his fate that he needed to come on home, and then all of a sudden he come on TV with a full head of hair. He was wearing a toupee. Brian, I don't respect that. Like if Father Time takes your hair,
Wait a
then
minute.
that's
Are
just
you beefing? Are you beefing with Brian Urlacher because he once was bald and now he has hair and you feel offended as a bald man?
no. I am offended because it was not his hair. Like you see, Bomani has grown his hair out. Okay, you wanna
So
give it
you
a
hating
shot?
on
I
his
respect.
toupee?
I'm hating on his toupee. Yes, I am
Look
because
at look at look at look at the issues bald people have to deal with on the regular. Yo, I don't like you because of
I
your toupee. Nah, brother, you gotta
dog.
let that hate
It's
go. You
no,
you and Will
it's
Smith need to let that hate go because
disrespectful.
y'all gonna harbor it too much, and I don't
It
want to
is.
see you do the same thing to somebody else next time
Hey,
they
dog.
say something about your hair that Will
I don't.
Smith had to do to Chris Rock.
Hey,
Like I
fam,
want
I
to
ain't got the
protect
money to
my
be.
fellow brothers out here.
I
Brothers,
ain't got
I'm here to protect y'all.
fam. I ain't got the money to be walking around slapping people for fun. I ain't got
No,
it
I
like that.
so I okay. So, like I was saying, I think this slap goes into this incident goes into one of the moments in television history you had to be there. So, as I mentioned before, the Janet Jackson titty pop out. That's easily number one. Kanye
Malice
West
in the
telling
Palace.
Malice in the Palace. Second one, Kanye West telling the world George Bush does not care about black people. Oh my gosh, I just don't see how you watch that and don't crack the fuck up laughing. It was truly a hilarious moment in time. Again, Kanye West letting the world know that Taylor Swift is cool, but Beyonce had one of the greatest videos of all time. Gosh, that guy makes for some prime time television.
Yes, he does.
Then I think you can add this one to round at that top 5 of Will Smith smacking the shit out of Chris Rock at the Oscars.
It's even funny when you say it.
Because, okay, I've watched this maybe about 30 or 40 times, and I've dissected it, and I've thought about it from both angles, and I've unfortunately seen the think pieces. I've fortunately seen the amount of hilarious ass jokes, and I've come to the conclusion that the Boondocks was right. There was a particular episode in the Boondocks when they talked about a certain type of moment that only black people can have. And I think Will Smith and Chris Rock were the victims of this said moment, because this has all of the makings of one of those type moments.
Yes, it does. Yes, it did.
Chris Rock, I don't even know if he said a joke. I don't know if he came up with that joke. There's rumors that apparently this joke came from one of the writers backstage, whatever. He said this joke about Jada Pinkett Smith. Obviously, she just came out and said she was battling, a disease that's, taking away her hair. Will Smith initially laughed, like most other folks in the crowd. Camera pans back to Chris Rock. He's hearing the and he's kind of being like, "Oh, all right, guys, yeah, it was a spicy joke. Next thing you know, Willis Smith is on the stage. And next thing you know, boy, like he hit him with 5 slaps. 5 slaps. Slap that. Next thing, Chris Rock was like, what? Dude, what? And Will Smith he hits this man, then does the pimp walk. So I want to start there. Then I want to start by analyzing there. Don't ever slap a man or put your hands on a man and immediately walk away. Will Smith, you're lucky that you did this to a man who was working at his job that he couldn't really fight back.
Will walked away. So funny.
Get back to his seat. At this point, I'm thinking it's fake. At this point, I'm thinking it's fake. And then Will yell, "Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth."
Not once.
At that moment in time, twice. On network television. Yes, he did say it twice. At that moment in time, twice on network television, I said, "Oh yeah, no, this is real. This is real smoke." Then I'm like, "Yo, what the hell is going on right now?"
Can I tell a story about the moral of Will slapping Chris? When I was in high school, I don't know if you had this kind of setup too, but in high school we had this table, right? And at this table, if you sat at this table, you could get off your jokes about other people at the table, but people can get their jokes off on you at the table. And there are certain things you just don't talk about. And if you do, I lived at that table. And the thing is, if he said something that crossed the line, someone had the right at that table to say, "Hey, dog, we need to go upstairs in the bathroom and handle this." Will.
Yo, no, y'all was not saying, "Yo, let's go upstairs to the bathroom so we can handle this."
So what we do is like, if
my people was in.
So if the thing was, if someone said something that crossed the line, like you go up in the bathroom, you slap box, and you go back downstairs. Because you wouldn't fight, right? Because close fists, and then that's proof that you're fighting, and you might get suspended. Like if someone come out the bathroom with a bloody nose, so you slap box, you get out your system, and you go back. And the moral of the story is, watch what come out your mouth, because you are responsible for what comes out of your mouth. You are not responsible for how people react to what comes out of your mouth. So if you're not willing to get your ass slapped over it, you probably shouldn't say it. Not to say that Will was right? Because we're not here condoning violence, but I understand a man say something slick to me and I go slap him. I feel like he has a basic understanding, like, man, maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Now that was that's my initial interpretation. That's how I was reading that first. Because I've been back and forth. So I was like, yeah, Chris, when you say something spicy like that, you gotta be ready. You gotta be ready.
You gotta be ready, man. You do not know how people are going to react.
Whole situation more. I started breaking down the situation just a smidge more.
You was watching film?
Yeah, I was watching film because like I said, I had to keep watching this over and over again. So the next thing I thought about, I said, oh man, they want all the folks in the crowd have to calm Will Smith down. You're hearing about Poe Denzel, who probably too old to be able to deal with
Yo,
this shit. Tyler
fucking
Perry.
Tyler Perry. What Tyler Perry gonna pray over me? Like what? Like what was
Tyler
he
Perry's
doing?
somewhere trying to get into his Medea costume. He ain't got time for this shit. I'm sitting here thinking, think about the people who are in this crowd. I know I saw Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in there.
Dwayne was probably there.
I'm thinking.
I feel like he gets an invite to the Oscars.
I
He's
thought about it, and I was like, "Yo, if this was 98% of most comedians up there, and they make that joke, does Will Smith go up there and slap the fire out?"
But that's the thing, though. If you Chris Rock, you got to understand these things, all right? Like you are older, you are smaller. Like, do you see Cat Williams go around popping off like that? Well, Cat Williams will pop off, but Cat Williams knows that like he knows the potential consequences of his actions, right? Because he got jumped by some kids. Like he got, but then he came and gave us some fire, right? Like Cat.
Yo, that was a nasty part in time when the culture was jumping Cat Williams. We needed. Come on, that's a nasty moment in history.
Yeah, we need to apologize because Cat's one of the greats.
That's
but
one
yeah,
of the GOATs.
like that's one of the goats. But dog, people, if you don't get anything from this show tonight, you do not know how people will react to the things you say. So if you want to talk greasy, make sure that you're ready to get your ass kicked potentially.
Yeah, I mean, it's always, when you're doing the gift of the verbal warfare, there's always a potential that someone might get a little offended.
Like,
now,
here's the thing.
I think we're going to say the same thing.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Will, if you feel some type of way about how he feel or what he said, you have to at least give him the benefit of the fair one. You have to give him the benefit of the fair one.
What's that?
The fair chance to fight the fuck back. What are you talking about?
Oh, okay, okay.
Pulled this at an event knowing he not really about to. Nah, he ain't about to really get into it.
He's an opportunistic.
Yo, if you feel the type of way, well, I'm out here presenting an award. You might be out here and accepting the award, my brother. Bring your wife up stage. She take the award. When we get back to that backstage, let's talk about it then.
Will say you embarrass me in front of the country, I'm gonna slap the shit out you in front of the country.
And now I'm seeing somewhere that Will and Jada are about to do a red table talk to break their side.
God.
And now I'm like, all right, what was all that for then?
See, what we need to be talking about, my wife not talk about this. Jada the root of the whole issue. She is the common theme in all this mess.
That's who we need. That's who we really need to get up out of here.
She the root of the issue. I will say, I was gonna say, and you and I talked about this before coming on air tonight. Will Smith has been the butt of these Twitter jokes for 3 years, and he has kikied, he has retweeted, he has played along, and then on the biggest night of his career, like he was the odds-on favorite to win his first Oscar, the last thing missing from his treasure chest or whatever, his trophy cabinet. And Chris Rock gonna bring his scrawny, narrow ass on stage and talk about my wife? Nah, dog. Like that was his breaking point, and I understand. And he dealt with it.
Chris could have really got. The thing is, I feel like Chris probably said in his mind, such like a lighthearted, like jab joke.
That don't matter though, right? That don't matter though. Like, and to you it might be light, but to someone it might be the most insulting thing they've ever heard. Like you just can't. You don't know how people gonna react to what you're gonna say.
Now, I mean, if I'm Chris Rock, I'm like, well, damn, if that's the joke that gets me slapped, I might as well say some shit like, Will, glad to see you here in March. Wonder what you're doing in August. I would have said something like that. If that's what's gonna move us to furniture, let's move the furniture then, Will.
I'm with you on that.
Let's move some fucking furniture then. Lucky he did it again, like I was telling you before the show started. He lucky he did it at the Oscars because this is at the BET Awards or at the Soul Train Awards.
Oh, no one would care.
Oh, now we getting some furniture moving. Now, matter of fact, well, if Chris Rock would have been able to show up maybe with his people the way I'm thinking Chris Rock may move his people, Will may not have made it back to his seat.
You want to know my theory on this too? Had Chris Rock, I think someone said Chris Rock handled professionally, he could have made it worse with hitting back. I feel like if you look at that frame, Will's jaw is wide open. Like if Chris would have came with the right, that'd have been it. Will wouldn't have been there to get an Oscar. He'd be in the hospital because Chris would have broke that man's jaw. Like Will was, he didn't have a hand up, and like if Chris' instinct was to come back with that right across his jaw, my God, that would have been it.
This whole conversation looks mad differently because now we like, yo, Chris Rock just knocked the fuck out of somebody, and then went on to present to host the Oscars. Oh man! All right,
like, Chris Rock would be goated for that.
August, but what are you doing? Oh my goodness!
What is August doing in Jada? Lord. See, y'all say y'all ain't never been slapped for nothing you ever said. You never got your ass beat for talking. Y'all ain't never got y'all ass beat talking shit in this show. That's one thing Twitter has shown me. Like, y'all ain't never got y'all ass beat for saying something slick.
Or I was on Twitter just being like, yo, y'all really ain't. A lot of y'all really ain't. Y'all ain't really clowning like you think you clowning because you ain't really. If you ain't really almost come to blows about some jokes, and you really ain't clowning the way you should be clowning.
Yeah. If you ain't flirting with that line of disrespect, you ain't getting these jokes off.
All right, let's get into some sports. Let's get into some sports. I mean, y'all know we're gonna start. It's March. Let's start with the NCAA tournament.
Just get it.
It's been a damn good one these last 2 weeks, and I think it's the benefit that we haven't recorded in a couple of weeks because I didn't really take in this tournament. So start the men's tournament. We saw the journey of a 15 seed from St. Peter's making it all the way to the Elite Eight. We saw some big name contenders like Arizona, Gonzaga, Kentucky, Baylor all go down early. And then we saw one conference in particular, the ACC, look very strong, even though the champion of this conference was a one-done, but we won't talk about that. With all that being said, we got our Final Four. Duke versus UNC, Villanova versus Kansas. Who do you like to come out of these matchups? Who do you have as your national champion? Holla at me.
First things first. Y'all gonna stop believing in Gonzaga. I don't know how many times Gonzaga got to fool y'all, but they not what y'all think they are.
They fooled me.
Stop fault. I've kicked that Gonzaga narcotic when what's the old boy who played for the Lakers? Adam Morrison. After that, I was like, get me off this Gonzaga narcotic. And I've been
done.
Great.
From now on, I'm having him second week exit every time.
Yep. Don't even fall for it. Number two, we need to start talking about ACC basketball the same way we talk about SEC football. Because ACC basketball is above everyone else. Not even close. Like it's ACC basketball, there's a gap. And then there's everyone else. In regards to these matchups, I really want to see Coach K get his ass kicked. Like I really want to see Coach K go home.
Why does everyone all of a sudden like this is he's getting the most hated retirement tour I've seen, and he ain't really done nothing problematic.
When he lost to UNC at his last home game, the way he acted after the game, right? He told the crowd to be quiet. Shame the boys. This is unacceptable. They were there to see you. All you had to say was thank you for 30 plus years. I love y'all. We still got work to do. No, he wanted to be petty. I hope UNC send him home. Send his ass home. And then we can't have a 3-stripe school anywhere near this, but I'm afraid Kansas is going to beat Villanova and we're going to have a 3-stripe school for a national championship. I'm not ready for it, especially if it's 3 stripes versus Duke.
You think Kansas is going to win the national championship?
Yeah, what's his face? That guy from our from Villanova blew his AC. I mean, his Achilles, like that. That's something big to overcome, especially against Kansas, right? Especially against Kansas. So I think Kansas is. Yeah. I think Kansas is going to beat Villanova. I think UNC is going to beat Duke for God in America, and then we're going to have Duke and Kansas. And I just got a feeling, man. we're gonna have a 3-stripe school holding up a national championship. It's gonna be sad days.
Excuse me. Yeah, no, I'm with you. So when I look at the Villanova Kansas game, I'm with you. I think that injury to the player, I forget the name on top of my head, but I'm thinking a tough Achilles injury is going to be hard to overcome. So I like Kansas. After watching them play these last couple weekends, I'm like, man, these guys are really good. These guys are really good. You can see why they won the Big 12, I believe it is. So yeah, they're the Big 12.
They're in the Big 12.
Yeah, so these guys are good. I like them. I'm gonna be honest with you. I like Duke to beat UNC. I think this is the recipe for what Duke wanted when they got their, when they lost to Virginia Tech in the ACC tournament. I think excuse me. I think they've wanted to play. They've wanted to play UNC again, and I think, probably since Coach K's last home game, they've been like, if we get these guys again, we're going to smoke them. So I think they're going to be a very motivated team. I like Duke to beat UNC. I'll be honest with you, I like Duke to win the national championship. I think Duke's going to maybe ride high national championships, send Coach K off. I think they've got a lot of the pieces of what you need. They match up really well. I think they're going to match up really well against Kansas, match them athlete for athlete. And yeah, I like Kansas.
Listen, if Duke win the national championship, it's scripted. Vince McMahon behind the scenes.
Why does everyone say that? If that was the case, wouldn't Coach K have more national titles?
Nah, it's too good of a story. Vince, get your hand out of college basketball. Worry about WrestleMania.
All right. So what about the women's tournament then? So now this Final Four for the women's, Louisville versus South Carolina, which was a great game Louisville had last night, and
won in double overtime, Stanford.
Right? No, that was the UConn game.
UConn won in double OT.
Yeah, UConn, the Lady Huskies, they won in double overtime. So it'll be Louisville versus South Carolina, UConn versus Stanford. Who do you like to come out of these matchups and end up as a national champion?
This can only end one way, and that's Dawn Staley versus Gino. Paige Buckets is back. She balled out last night. We're going to have Under Armour versus Nike. And again, another UA is going to win this one. I think Dawn Staley takes over women's college basketball. This is her time.
Yeah. So my bracket, which by the way, my bracket is actually pretty accurate with the women's. Like I'm shooting a very high percentile in both my brackets for women. So shout out. Yeah, I'm with you. I think South Carolina's going to be too much for Louisville, and I do like UConn over Stanford. I have my national champion in both my brackets being the UConn Lady Huskies, and I'm sticking with it. I'm sticking with it. I think they've been a very great team. I think Paige Buckets is back. I think she's healthy. I'm gonna stick with it. I'm sticking with my choice.
So I watched did you watch the Notre Dame Oklahoma game for the women's tournament? Dog, those Notre Dame girls hit like 15 threes. It felt like they were about like 40 before halftime. I ain't never seen shooting like that from anybody.
A lot of it's weird because every other time I was watching one of the women's tournament games, it was ending in a blowout, and it felt like every men's game I watched was like wire to wire down to the last couple possessions. Like, of course, there were some close women's games. Don't get me wrong, but like every time I watched one, it felt like a blowout. I was like, dang, yo,
they're not playing. Yo, they out here.
They be doing some disrespectful blowouts too.
I love it.
No, brother.
I love it. Dominance in basketball is a good thing. I know people don't like it. Like, people don't like UConn's run. Dominance is a good thing. Dominance is great for sports because you have a villain and you have someone chasing something. Parity is good as well, but dominance isn't as bad as people make it sound.
I like that. I like that. I like that explanation. It actually makes a lot of sense. I can get behind that one. Speaking of dominance, let's talk about the NBA playoffs because they're rapidly approaching us, man. They're getting here faster than we can really.
2 weeks.
I know. So as it currently stands, get this: the Boston Celtics are leading the Eastern Conference. This is after a rough start to the year, but with them at the top are the Heat, Bucks, and Sixers, who also have a chance at that number 1 seed. So my question to you is, who do you think ends the season as the number 1 seed in the East?
I think it's going to be the Bucks. I think that fraudulent Heat culture has been exposed. I tweeted that's number YMCA ball in Armani suits. That's been
Oh
exposed.
man.
Yeah, we
Oh
don't.
man.
Heat culture is fake. It's built on nothing.
It's
I think
wait, it's what culture? It's built
it's
on what?
it's built on Armani suits and frauds. Ain't nothing but the YMCA.
I
They
like
act like
Armani
you do.
suits though. Like I like
Yeah,
Armani suits.
I can't afford it, but I like them too. I'm just saying it's just fraud.
You
It's
think
they
gold
just
though?
um the Sixers seem to be having trouble with James Harden acclimating. They started off hot, but James seems to be in a slump. He needs to get out of that immediately, or they are going to get throttled, and Joel's going to lose his MVP award. Um, what else we got? The Celtics. I mean, I could see the Celtics as a one seed, but do the Celtics really want to go see Kevin Durant? Like, do you really
Yeah,
want to
so
go to?
I think about it. It's like I think it's looking like the Nets are likely going to be what the eighth seed. They're likely going to be in the
Yeah,
play-in tournament, and they're probably going to
yeah.
have to play for the last seed. I think when you look at the Nets, I mean that is a team that when they're healthy, I mean I just don't think you want to play them for 7 games. Like,
No.
that's just not who you want to play, and especially if you're like a Brooklyn or Milwaukee or especially if you're in Miami. Feels like if you don't get that number one seed, then you immediately want to get like two,
Yeah.
because you then want to avoid the Nets for as long as you possibly can, assuming they don't make it all the way.
So I feel like Milwaukee's not afraid of Brooklyn, right? Like I feel like that'd be a good series, but I think Brooklyn would smoke Boston. And I know Boston has the best defense in the league since January, followed by the Dallas Mavericks. But there's something to be said about Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving in the playoffs. Like there's something
Oh,
to be said about that.
it's nasty when they're on the court together.
Like and now he can play in Brooklyn. Like it is going to be disgusting.
Yeah, because now it's like, yo, it doesn't really matter what seed they get because you're giving everyone hell.
And Kyrie's healthy.
And I
Like
guess if
Kyrie's
you're the
played what?
Nets, I don't mean to cut you off. I guess if you're the Nets, you maybe want the best teams at to get you want to get the 7th seed so you can play, or the 8th seed so you can play that number 1 seed and just start knocking out the best teams.
Yeah, especially if it's
There's the
Miami.
dominance earliest.
Like if I'm Brooklyn, I'm like, where's Miami? Hunt
Yeah,
them. Give me Jimmy Butler. Because Jimmy can't hit. Jimmy's mid range is off, man. That's a wrap. Like Miami's, I don't care where they are.
You think the Bucks match up the worst with the Nets? You think in a 7-game series they make it to that?
The thing about the Bucks is Giannis can guard. I mean, no one can guard Kevin, but Giannis can put up an effort. Like Giannis, he's lanky, he's strong. Like he can. Like who in Miami is guarding Kevin Durant? Bam. Good night. Jimmy gonna have his hands full with Kyrie.
Put Bam on him, but as good as a defender Bam is, I think we're talking about Kevin Durant.
Dog, that's the torture chamber.
Yeah, I mean, and then on top of that, whoever the primary defender on KD, I mean, you're also going to on some occasions be matched up with Kyrie Irving, which I don't know if that's too much better. I mean, you're calling Allah pretty much either way. I'm with you. I think when you think of the number 1 seed, I think I do like the Bucks. I think when you look at the core of the Bucks, I mean, they have all that they need in terms of team wise to repeat again. I will say we shouldn't. I like the Sixers. I think the Sixers.
I love the Sixers.
Maybe make a push, and I think they're going to get out of this slump, and I think they're going to find a way to. Maybe mess around and get the number 1 seed. And I think a Sixers Nets first round matchup is such primetime TV that I'd want it 7 days in a row.
Listen, I'll say this. If James Harden gets out of this slump and plays like those first 5 games, the Sixers will be in the finals. Because there's no team that can match that. There's no team that can match up with Joel, James Harden, and Tyrese Maxey playing the way he's playing. Like if James Harden gets out of the slump, it's a wrap. They're going to the finals.
Talk about it. You talking it. I love it.
They're going to the finals. Like the Bucks are the only team that can match up in some form or fashion. And how long can Giannis bang with Joel on the block before he's like, hey man, bring in Bobby Portis because I'm tired.
Bring in Bobby Portis. Yo, guarding Joel Embiid for 48 minutes gotta just be
hell. Put me in the crossface. Get someone go get Chris Benoit. Put me in the crossface.
Pause. Let's talk about teams who definitely aren't making the finals, and if they do make it to the playoffs, they're going to be wasting everyone's time. From the Western Conference, there is a race for the play-in spots. So right now, we have the Pelicans, we have the Lakers, we have the Spurs, and we have the Trailblazers, all fighting for the final spot in the play-in tournament. Who do you think stinks up the joint the least to end up with the 10th seed?
The Pelicans. Brandon Ingram is back. You got CJ McCollum. Apparently Zion is on this road trip. Like, was Zion, dog, did you see that joint? Zion flat, like he took one step between the legs and yammed that joint. Zion is fine. Put that boy on the court.
I'm gonna let you go before I comment back on the
Okay.
Zion thing. First off, don't show me no Zion until you show me Zion playing basketball, dog. I want to. Can you hoop? Is you healthy?
He looked healthy to me on that dunk. But for me, it's the Pelicans. I was really close to picking the Spurs, right? Because I respect Pop as a coach and Murray, but Brandon Ingram, CJ McCollum, that is enough to grab the last spot of the playoffs. Because Anthony Davis isn't coming back, is he? Like, what, they got 7 games left?
They said, I mean, he's been participating in full practices. They said there's a chance he might return for a playoff push. Who knows?
I mean, like, y'all play the Mavericks tonight. LeBron's not playing because he rolled his ankle. Like, I feel like we're at the point of this, like, all right, guys, let's just shut this down for the year and start on the offseason.
I think they should start. Listen, the Lakers have blown like 15, 16, or 17 double-digit leads this season.
Yeah.
If you think about like how many like blown games just from that, this team, it's actually unbelievable. This record, the record this team has, because they're really bad, but they're not bad, but they're god awful bad. It makes
like
no
if they
sense.
Won half, if they won half those games, they'd be the 4th seed or the 5th seed.
Simple, right? Yet they were. Yeah. I mean, like the game against the Pelicans, I'm just like, guys, like you're not bad. How do you get yourselves in these positions?
I don't know, man. It's a sad. I used to enjoy this and watching you guys lose because this is what you deserve. But this is sad. Like LeBron deserves better than this, even though this is his fault. LeBron deserves better. But you know what? Tonight, Russell Westbrook. Tonight, Russell Westbrook is gonna have like a triple-double and beat the Mavericks, and then y'all gonna be right there.
Yeah, I'm glad one of us has faith here.
You were saying about the Spurs and the Pelicans. My bad.
I was just saying I think the Spurs and or the Pelicans are going to be the ones that end up taking that 10th seed. So we'll see. We'll see. Let's transition over into the NFL. Because while there was some big news last week with the slap heard across the world and so on and so forth, a little bit before that, there was some big news in the NFL. Tyreek Hill, in a matter of 2 or 3 days, forced his way to the Miami Dolphins.
Crazy.
Shout out to him. Devontae Adams found himself traded to the Las Vegas Raiders after talking with Packers brass. Deshaun Watson has been traded to the Cleveland Browns. So as you can see, free agency, man, it's starting to heat up. What do you think has been the biggest move so far?
Quarterback's the most important position, and for me, it's Deshaun going to Cleveland. There's a lot to unpack with that, especially with that. You know, the grand jury did not indict him, but the civil cases are still active. I don't know if you saw this, but I saw that a local TV station in Cleveland got their hands on the deposition, like the video, and leaked it. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Oh, they leaked a few minutes of that video, and boy, it does not look good. I think the NFL is going to punish him for that. But it's for me, it's Deshaun going to Cleveland, and then it's Devontae going to Las Vegas. Like Derek Carr.
Wait, you're going to punish who for who? They're going to punish who for who? You mean?
They're going to punish Deshaun Watson. That it was like 1 minute and 37 seconds, and it was like, oh, this is nasty. It's nasty.
But
But
he's not being found. Okay.
yeah, I'll DM you the two clips. But yeah, whoever was asking him questions was like, "Yo, what were you thinking?" So anyway, but back on the field, outside of Deshaun, it's got to be Devontae. Derek Carr has no excuses. Derek Carr has legitimately everything he needs, and now that Hill is gone, like that division is wide open. Like the Chiefs are weak.
Think so?
Yeah, Hill. The only reason Kelsey's open underneath so much is because Hill's taking your safety in your corner over the top, right? And even then, like that's still not enough. Patrick has an arm to overthrow that. Like, what do you got now? You got McCole Hartman, Kelsey, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Like what weapons does he have right now?
So you don't think Travis Kelsey's going to be a first round fantasy pick anymore?
He should be because he's going to get all the. Who else is going to get these targets?
Yeah, but who else is going to be double and triple teamed on a consistent basis? Maybe Marquez
That's true.
Valdez-Scantling, who's a
Yeah.
new Chiefs receiver.
We gonna give it to Juju? Who's it? Corvette scaring somebody?
He could be. Honestly, I'm with you. I think the Deshaun Watson move is probably the biggest. Although, I mean, Tyreek to the Dolphins. I think honestly, no, I'm changing. I think Tyreek to the Dolphins may be bigger than Deshaun to the Browns because I think what this does is you're really shifting. You're helping move the power balances of the AFC away from what was seeming to be the Bills and a little bit of the Patriots, moving to maybe more towards the middle between the Dolphins, the Patriots, and the Bills. I think it's also going to be a proven year for Tua Tagovailoa because I mean, dude,
Tua ain't got the arm to play with Tyreek. He ain't got the
we're about
facilities
to
for that
find
big
out.
man.
We're about to find out, aren't we?
I will say one more thing. Since Russell decided Denver, Russell, you had the opportunity to come to one of the greatest cities in the country and be part of one of the best fan bases. Excuse me one second. One of the best fan bases. You could have been our savior. And you decided to go to Denver and play in the AFC. You could have came to Philadelphia
You gotta let this go.
and
Don't
we could have
nobody
did
want to be
something
no Eagle
special.
quarterback. Don't nobody want. Jalen
We could
Hurts is
have
your quarterback.
we could have done something special. The NFC is so wide open. You could have
Nah,
come,
Jalen Hurts is your quarterback, my guy.
and I'm fine with that. But
Are you sure? It
Russell,
doesn't sound like it.
Russell, Russell, you making Sierra move to Denver. You were a bad husband. Russell,
Nah, he a family man. What are you talking about? I feel you,
Russell,
Russ. You ain't got to explain yourself to this man.
Russell. It
Nah,
was
nah.
right there. The Eagles had everything that Seattle wanted, and you would still have a team around you. And you said, nah, dog, send me to motherfucking Denver. All right,
Yeah,
man. All right, bro.
yeah.
Good luck. How dare you? How dare you? He was supposed to be our savior, man. He was supposed to
That how
save
dare
us.
you is how Will Smith was looking at Chris Rock.
He was supposed to
And
save
honestly,
us,
that's how
man.
Chris Rock was looking back at Will Smith after he slapped him. How dare you? He was like, how dare you?
How dare you? Russ, you were
Nah, but
supposed
really,
to
though,
be.
why did Chris Rock stand up there with them hands behind his back, though?
That's another thing. Like you can't, like you see, and Chris should know this, right? Because Chris has lived on this earth.
He's from New York, ain't he? From
Yeah,
Brooklyn.
when you say something slick, and the person you directed it towards is walking to you aggressively, not saying a word, what do you think he gonna do? He not coming to shake your hand and say good joke. He come beat your ass. Chris knew better. But again, if you're Chris, what do you do, right? 'Cause again, if you run away, you a punk. If you hit him first, then Will gets all the sympathy. But the moment Will slapped you, like I said, if he would have came with that right, Will would still be on the stage.
Man, it would have looked like Roman Reigns coming off the top rope with the Superman punch. That's
Dog,
what
I don't
it.
even want
That's what it would have looked like, man.
that would like Will will be missing some teeth.
Yo, were you upset that he didn't go for the backhand, hit him with the front hand?
No, backhand is too disrespectful.
Really?
Backhand, like if you backhand someone, that person may kill you. And I'm not saying that like as hyperbole. Like you backhand a human being, they might kill you. Like that is the most disrespectful slap.
It's nasty business getting
That
a
is
mean
that.
backhand.
Yeah, if you getting backhand by another man, like that's cause to kill somebody. Like, yep, he backhand
I
him, he
really
shot
want to
him.
know
Yep.
what the rest of Chris Rock's sentence was, because he was like, he said, "No, I could have." Nah, I finish your sentence.
Nah. He knew the next thing out Chris Rock's mouth again would have been the opposite. Like Will would have probably killed him because he would have said something like Anthony saying he can slap Chris, but not August. Listen, for y'all talking about
Oh no, he won't
August,
listen. When Will walk off that stage, he won't get back on. So he
nah.
needs to do what he needs to do right then and there to do what he needs to did. Because had Chris been petty and wanted to say something else, hey man, you're not getting back on the stage. And this time, I know you coming. So this
Yeah,
time, I'm liable to take this award or whatever I got in my hand and knock you upside the head with it on your way.
that's now we talking. Now, you know what? And if that happened, bring down the Hell in the Cell. We're gonna have a match right here.
Hey, all Oscars. This is a no holds bar match at the Oscars. Bring him. You'll have a
Yeah,
referee running from the Staples Center or something, trying to get
yeah.
up in there
Falls
counting
count
on 1, 2,
anywhere. Let's
3.
get this.
Oh man! Speaking of which, WrestleMania season is upon us. Roman
Have you
Reigns, Brock Lesnar unifying their titles. Are you excited or no?
listen? People who are fans of this show know how I feel about Brock Lesnar. Hell no, I'm not excited. I haven't watched a
Brock's
single
the face
hour
now too. He's a good
of
guy. I was
I
watching a little
don't care. Get these old people out of wrestling. Stop
bit.
giving them belts. Stop
Mm,
ruining your young talent because you can't
mm,
develop these characters to make them
mm,
legitimate title contenders. Stop
mm.
giving Brock the belt. You know what the highlight of Sunday is going to be? Kevin Owens and Stone Cold. That's the only thing I'm looking forward to because I'm not
I'm
looking
still
forward
kind
to
of confused on what exactly that whole uh, altercation is going to look like, but I'm all vibes.
it's going to end with Kevin getting stunned and Austin drinking beer, and that's all I need to know.
That's all I need to see. All I
That's all
need
I
to
need
see.
to see. Like that part of nostalgia is great, right? Like it's its own segment. It's a cool segment, but we do not need to give Brock Lesnar the belt because you know what's gonna happen. He gonna lose on Sunday, and then he gonna
I like
bring
what
his
Anthony
ass.
said. So
What?
Anthony Price in the chat says people who know Roman versus Brock know it won't be a winner. I think this is very possible too. I
Oh,
think
it's
this
when
could
there's a
very well
draw.
end in a draw, and both go about their separate ways with their championships, and they drag this out for another year, and we do this all over again next year, and then it will be a winner take all one final match between Brock and Roman Reigns, and
Dog, get Vince out the writers' room. Get Vince out the writers' room, or at least if you're gonna do it, make it SummerSlam. Like just get it over with. So, do
yeah,
you think Paul Heyman turns again? He's turned so
nah.
many times, I can't tell.
I think he likes being the advisor to the tribal chief. I think it's funny,
So
to
who
be
comes
honest.
back and breaks this match up? Who comes breaks this match up and gets them DQ'd? Who deserves a chance at the belt that maybe got injured is coming back? Like I feel like Seth Rollins should interfere. I know he's going, he don't know his
I
opponent.
think maybe it's going to be Cody Rhodes attacking
Okay, I could see that.
Cody
I forgot
Rhodes
about Cody.
attacking Roman Reigns,
Yeah, we got to get Brock out of here. Like, like
or
who wants to watch?
Could be Cody Rhodes attacking Brock Lesnar, because Brock is the champion for the belt that's on Raw. So um,
Who has Money in the Bank, or is everyone cashed in?
I think everyone might cash it. I don't know.
I really, you know what? And speaking of which, and this is random, I really miss the Elimination Chamber. Like that was one of my
They just
favorite pay
had
per
it, didn't
view.
they?
No, I haven't seen an Elimination Chamber in a long time.
They just had the Elimination Chamber pay per view this year. Early.
What? Hold
They
on.
it's the Elimination Chamber pay per view. Happens every year now.
Oh wow, I did miss it. It was in February.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy.
I really don't watch like wrestling. I love it, right? I always love wrestling. I always read, But Vince has ruined it, man. Like giving Brock the belt. You let Becky beat Bianca. Like I hope Bianca beat her ass for 20 minutes on Sunday.
But you should have you seen some of those have you seen some of those promos that Becky has cut though? They've been legit.
Yo, Becky has stepped her game up, but again, she should have never beat Bianca to begin with. Like Bianca should still be the champ. Let's be real.
Well,
and I know Bianca's going to lose because Bianca's got an upper hand on her like the past couple weeks. Beat her with the braid, cut her hair last night. Like Becky's going to win, right? But she shouldn't.
Becky's the bigger draw, brother. But I feel you. How do you feel about this new NFL postseason rule being passed for OT?
And the rule that we're referencing is that both teams get the ball. What's the point?
Yeah. No, I think it's a load of horseshit. First off, what's the point of playing 60 minutes of football if you could win the coin toss, defer?
Now it's college.
Hold your opponent to a 3-and-out, get the ball, and kick a field goal to win. I think that's just pointless because at that point you could have just gotten the ball and kicked the 3 points and gotten it over with. It would have been the same thing.
Football is a team sport. I know, and I know this because Josh Allen never got the ball back. Well, guess what? That's Josh Allen's defense's fault. That's the Bills' defense fault. Like we got to hold defenses accountable.
Yeah, and to all you sports fans out there that yo, shut the hell up. These are the best football players on God's green earth. Make a play or lose.
Make a play.
And NFL, I don't like how y'all separated it only in the postseason, not in the regular season. Get a set, and either go all in or don't go in at all. Grow a set. Like Anthony said, you change it for the playoffs, but not the regular season. Kyle, what's good, man? What's good? I'm not a fan of this rule, man. I'm not a fan of this rule at all. And I think what I think is going to happen is there's going to be a team who's going to be one game short of making the playoffs because they lost in overtime in the regular season because they didn't get the football.
Yep.
And they're going to miss out on the playoffs by one game when that rule could have been applied in the regular season versus not just the postseason.
It's stupid. Hold defenses accountable. Make a play.
I'm out here, like if you're out here and you're like, I'm a big fan of this rule, I need you to tell me why. 2, tell me who your team is. 3, number 2 is going to let me know that number 3, you're not a serious fucking football fan because your team fucking stinks and you know nothing about playing between those white lines for 60 minutes because you don't want to ever put the outcome of a game in the hands of the referees. You want to handle it.
That's right. We pay pass rushers all this money. We paying all this money for pass rushers and defensive linemen. Hey, dog, go sack the quarterback.
I just watched Aaron Donald in the Rams defense give Joe Burrow hell for 60 minutes and win a Super Bowl championship. You mean to tell me that a defense just can't make plays to win a game? Anthony said I blame Josh for calling tails, and everyone knows to call heads. I agree. I probably would have called heads as well. Kyle said, to be fair, the NHL has different overtime rules for the regular season and the playoffs.
That's interesting, Kyle. Can you explain those rules to us? I'm very intrigued.
Yeah, but the bad
Kyle be teaching us something like every week. Like we're 54 episodes in, and like every week, Kyle give us something new.
Yeah, Kyle. That's why he's part of the research department. While we wait on Kyle, Lakers are a real disappointment. Can we agree to that?
Oh yeah, we can talk about your Lakers if you want. We can talk.
They're like real disappointment. Watching the game last night, like they go up by 20, and the whole time I'm watching, I'm just like, y'all are still gonna find a way to lose this game. Oh man, right now? I'm gonna put it like this. I was watching that game and I was like, man, they're gonna come out of halftime. I was like, man, they're gonna come out of halftime, and I bet you the Pelicans are gonna go on like a 15-2 run. And they went on like a 13-3 or something like that run, and I was like, you guys freaking stink. Y'all are terrible.
If it makes you feel better, they're down by 10 to the Mavericks right now. A minute left in the first quarter. I don't think that's on TNT tonight.
No, it is. I think that's the game behind me.
What?
See,
Lakers
Reggie
on?
Bullock right there.
We got. I don't get to watch Luka often. Dog. Speaking of Luka, I know he's not in the MVP race, but he's first team All NBA, and Luka has been sticking his foot all up in everybody's ass. Sunday night against the Jazz for the 4 spot, Luka stuck his foot in Donovan Mitchell's ass and kept it there. And that's what he's gonna do in the playoffs. Like, I'm getting real close to saying the Mavericks going to the Western Conference Finals. I'm almost there. We almost there. It depends on who the first round matchup is. Like, if it's the Jazz, Luka's gonna stick his foot all up in their ass. All in their ass.
But then you would have to play the Suns the second round, though.
Listen, I don't want to play. I was about to say something real stupid. I don't want to play this.
If y'all the 4 seed, that means you play the 5 seed. Then your next series would be against the 1 seed.
The Mavericks have a chance to get to the 3 seed.
You better hope.
But
You better hope.
but
y'all
who's
get
the?
that 3
But I really want Utah in the first round. Like, I want it.
that would have you at the 4 seed.
I want
Pick your poison.
Donovan. I want Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert to know that your time, your little brief window, whatever you want to call it, is over. Luka owns y'all, and I don't mean like in a slave reference, because I know Luka's white and those guys are black. Like, we're not talking like that.
Nah,
But
look at you, Dr. Umar.
Yo, he ain't no
You don't
doctor.
hear me.
Kyle said, NHL back to overtime. NHL regular season's 3-on-3 for 5 minutes, and then it's a shootout if it's still tied. And then in the playoff, it's 5-on-5. First goal wins, however long it takes. That is intriguing.
Yeah, we should not do that for the NFL. Could you imagine that? Yo, I just don't think in the NFL, when like plays are literally being made by inches, we should be leaving it in the hands of like more time.
Yeah.
Make a play and let's get out of here.
Make a play. Let's get out of here.
Let's get the fuck out of here. Speaking of the NFL as well, it was announced that the Detroit Lions are going to be featured on Hard Knocks. That means I will not be watching Hard Knocks. I don't care about what the hell's going on in that franchise.
Talk to me after the draft, because if the Lions draft a quarterback and we got Jared Goff versus Malik or Kenny Pickett, sign me up. Yeah. Sign me up.
Yo, the United States might mess around and make the World Cup in soccer.
Listen, I don't care about men's soccer because they ain't done nothing for me. All I care about is the women. I'll care about the men when they get there. Get there, and then you have my attention.
They about to mess around and make the qualify for the World Cup.
Then I'll pay attention.
I think on Thursday they're playing somebody they just can't lose by like 5 or 6.
Okay. I've been watching. I have not followed men's soccer closely, but I know Team USA finds a way to F it up. Oh, Kyle, Canada made the World Cup. Congratulations.
That's
next year, right?
Up north. Word. Shout out to the
World Cup is next year.
Is
it next year or is it 2 years?
I think it's might be the last one was
first time since 86.
Was the last one in 2018? No, last one was it's every 3 years.
2022? No, this can't be it. It's in the World Cup is in 2022.
Last one might have been in 2020.
No, it's in 2022.
Oh, it's this year in November. Oh,
yeah, it's in November. Wow, in Qatar, that's right. Dang.
It is in Qatar.
I miss it when it was in the summer. That was a great way to spend a summer afternoon, was watching World Cup soccer. Because November, you get
the summer this year. Is the World Cup every 2 years or every 3 years?
I thought it was 2. Let's see. Yeah, it's every 2. How was it in Qatar both years? Damn, Qatar got a chokehold on the World Cup.
It's nice there. It's every 4 years, Kyle says.
Oh, thank you, Kyle.
I remember the last one in 2018. I believe that's the one that France won.
Yeah, we were talking about Mbappe. Whatever happened to him? Oh, next one's in 2026.
Canada, USA, Mexico. Oh man, there's definitely going to be some in on the West Coast at like all the MLS stadiums. That's probably where they're going to be.
It's probably in LA. Man, why can't it be in DC? Well, you know what? I wouldn't want to go to the World Cup in DC. I would fly to
There's
LA.
probably going to be a World Cup game. DC has an MLS team, don't they?
Yeah, they do. I'm just saying up the
There'll be
coast,
World
like
Cup
Mexico.
games.
Oh, can you imagine if it's in San Diego? Sign me up. I'd love to go
No,
to
they
San
should have.
Diego.
There's going to be like how many like host cities or whatever.
Let's see. Let's see. Canada, yeah. Go.
It's
Give
three
me the.
countries. I think it's probably going to be like 4 host cities per country. Huh? I don't know. I don't know how many Canada. I mean, Mexico got.
Yeah,
Mexico
see
might.
here it is. Canada. It's going to be in Edmonton, in Toronto, Mexico, Guadalajara, Mexico City, Montero, USA, Atlanta, Baltimore. No, it's too many. It's too many. It's too many cities.
How many
9
in US?
American. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Ain't no way.
In the US and Canada
Yeah.
and Mexico got like 5 or 6 total.
Yeah. 2, 5, 8, 11, 14, 17 American cities. That's too many. Something
Now
wrong
read
here.
them out. Read them out. Read them out.
So Atlanta, Baltimore, Boston, Cincinnati, Dallas, Denver, Houston, Kansas City, LA, Miami, Nashville, New York, New Jersey, so probably MetLife, Orlando, Philly, San Francisco, Seattle, DC.
Yeah. Dang, we both gonna have to. We both gonna have to drive if we want to see a World Cup game.
That's kind
Surprised,
of dope. That's kind of
surprised
dope.
that
I'd love to
found
go
that
see
in
a World
Portland.
Cup game. Oh, okay, Kyle. Thank you. I think they are still bidding for cities. Thank you, because I
Yeah.
can't imagine having all them people just flying around America.
Yeah, I don't think America's gonna want that either.
Hell no.
Man, what else do we got to talk about, man? There's been a lot to go on. Okay, let me tell you. This is the last thing I'm gonna talk about.
Okay.
I promise this last thing I'm gonna say about this situation. Why? Croc's first reaction was, "Wow."
He couldn't believe it. He can. I was trying to think. When, and this has happened to me, like a girl says something real disrespectful to you, like your first like wow, or when she accused you of something and you gotta lie, you're like, oh wow, right?
Yeah,
Because you
'cause
you don't know what to say. You say,
you
oh
don't know your lie
wow,
yet, so you gotta start thinking while you
yeah,
get some W's out in that. Wow,
yeah. That's
man.
what that was. That was a shock. Like wow, he really just slapped me.
Did Chris Rock come back out to host the rest of the night?
I don't know. I went to bed. I saw that on Twitter. I imagine he did not. I imagine you get slapped like that. That's a wrap. You can't come back. You just go home.
So
What
what do
can
you
you do?
think? What do you think happens if it comes out that Chris Rock didn't write the joke and he was told to say it as part of his little bit by the writers of the show?
Oh, then
Then what
then
do you like?
Chris Rock.
I guess then if you're Will Smith, and it's like, well, fuck, man. Now look, you know,
Because Chris didn't have to say it. Like he didn't have to deliver it.
true. No one held a gun to him and told him to say it.
Yeah.
But I think Will would then view the whole thing a little bit differently because then I think at that point he's probably been very much more so like, I definitely should have probably handled this.
I don't know. I don't
Part of
feel
me
like I
thinks
don't.
that part of me thinks that Will Smith probably woke up maybe like yesterday or today morning and was like, maybe I could have handled that a smidge differently. I bet you in the moment he was hot, but I bet you now he's probably like, nah, I probably could have handled that a smidge differently. Like I probably
I
could have
mean,
pressed him backstage and we could probably got a similar result.
don't we all have regrets like that? I mean, I've never slapped somebody, but I've woken up the next day like, man, maybe I shouldn't have said that or done that.
I've never slapped anyone at the Oscars. I've never
Yeah,
had
me either.
that leisure. So maybe I gotta learn from my brother Will and get the slapping the shit out of you motherfuckers at the Oscars. Maybe then y'all will learn. So next time at the Oscars, I'm liable to slap the shit out of one of y'all. Y'all piss me off. Do you think this sets a precedent now that if someone says something that pisses you off, you just start slapping the shit out of them?
No. But know that if you say something that someone takes offense to, they might come slap the shit out of you. Like, just know
But
That is a
also
possibility.
know that we are in 2022, and a lot of people, they ain't slapping, they shooting. So before you think about slapping someone, ask yourself, are they strapped themselves?
And here's the thing: if you have to ask yourself that question, just walk away.
Live to
if
fight
you
another day.
That's
Ladies,
right.
don't use this Will and Jada thing to get your men in trouble either.
No,
Don't do that. Y'all gonna have
because
these
if
men
he gets
fighting.
shot, you're gonna leave him. You like, damn,
Yeah,
honey, you got shot, and now you with the shooter.
yeah, yeah. They're gonna be in the club. They're gonna be like, "What? What did you hear? What he just said about me? You saw what you saw what Will did."
The man shoot like, oh damn, that's I saw the joint was like, Jada wasn't impressed. He was like, oh, Tupac would have shot him. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, Will been taking these Tupac jokes for 20 years. He been taking these
Now hold
August
on.
outs.
Some of those are Jada. Like some of them, you can't blame the people. You got to blame your wife.
I'm saying that I was saying earlier, like my wife and I was saying, like she the root, she the common theme in all this. Everything bad that done happened to that man in the past 20 years can be linked to one source. Got him on a red table talk, talking about the time she banged her son's best friend in his house. She the issue.
Where are we going as a culture, man?
And you know, let me say this: if they have an open marriage, that's their business. But that red table talk didn't look like a couple that had an open marriage. That man was in pain.
Nah, I didn't at all. Like a man who was hurt.
That man was in
Lesson of
pain.
all this, like Kyle said, and this is what I'm gonna end it with because I love what he said. And shout out to my guy Kyle. That's my guy. He says, the lesson here, people, be accountable for your words and actions. I'm glad that we know that now.
You should have
Amen.
learned it when you were a kid, but
Amen to that, Kyle. Yo, make sure y'all follow the pod at @SpeakOnIt_pod on both Twitter and Instagram. Make sure y'all follow the boy Los D Mix at LOSDEA. Excuse me, LOSDEEMIX on IG and Twitter. Danny, let them know where they can holla at and find you, my man.
you can find me on the Bird app at MadAds14. You know what? And I'm gonna stop doing this because I did this yesterday. I start arguing with people about this slap. The slap is over now. We talking about Luka sticking his foot in the Lakers' ass right now. So that's what we're gonna do tonight. We're gonna talk about Luka.
Now let's talk about Will Smith hitting.
57-33. Good God.
Let's talk about Will Smith hitting Chris Rock with the hand of God.
That man said, I played Ali. I know how to hit somebody.
Oh man, yo, getting calmed down by Denzel Washington is crazy. Man,
Crazy.
I can only imagine the tone in which Denzel was talking to him.
I imagine Tyler Perry talking like Medea to Will, and Will slapping him like, "Hey dog, get out
Come
my
over
face."
here now.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, that's it. I hate that shit.
Nasty business.
Yo,
People pray for us. We need it. Make sure you pray for your
Yes, we
favorite
do.
sports team too. They're gonna need it. Shout out to my
My
real
favorite
ones out
sports
here.
team is doing great right now. About
Mine
to
is
be
too.
up 30. How many
Go
points
Pack,
do we
go!
got?
Shout out to the Lakers.
How
Kyle,
many
all love. Shout
how
out to
many
everyone who
points
pulled
Luka
up.
got right now? Luka got 17. I got to go. I got to watch this. Luka putting on the show. Peace.